Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to ITHive.org's Saturday morning tech show. This is episode 82 for April 27th, 2019. As you can see today, there is no forest in the background. One of the nice things about working in the field and being mobile is you can do and I do my work wherever I am, literally. And this morning finds me in Russell, Ontario. So this is where the show comes from today, just outside the local Tim Hortons. So anyway, that's what we do. Sitting in the car here. Today I wanted to talk about. Actually, before I get into that, as always, just a reminder for everyone: if you're watching this live, feel free to ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer anything that comes up, or if you got comments on what I'm talking about, feel free to do that. If you're watching the record version, then please post comments on wherever you're watching this, and I'll get back to you. Any ideas, subject matter, same thing, right? Just let us know, right? That's what we do. Today's subject matter is titled, is this your business? And one thing that, this week I was doing some helping out another tech company, and, went into this business, and, it was a real underlining thing for me why we do what we do, right? So this business was supported, right? But the relationship is they have a problem, they call, and then they come in and get fixed. So there's no, management of the IT. And, when I walked in, it was a mishmash of all kinds of things, like literally just ticking time bombs. Things were working, yes, right? But as I've said before on the show, with technology, having your technology work is not good enough these days. You have to know that it is problem-free, right? Because your computer turns on, right, doesn't mean that it's problem-free, right? And especially in the areas of security, you can have issues. The bad guys are not going to want you to know that they're there. And what I saw when I walked into this business was a little scary for me. They had, on some machines, they had free antivirus software running. Other machines, they had another virus product running. The the employees seem to be very rough with the equipment, right? And doing things that would literally cause more problems. And it's one of the things. And to counter that, the reason we do what we do with our clients, and we only have this relationship, is that we know that supporting when a client needs or calls for help is just not good enough, right? You have to know. So our relationship with our clients is twofold. Yes, we respond when they call and say, hey, things aren't working, or I'm not happy, or stuff like that. But on the flip side, we call them and we actively look for problems in their environment and say, hey, we should deal with this. And, well, what's the really big benefit for that? Well, to us, it's obvious. And to you, I'll share. And that the benefit there is that you're dealing with things when they're small. And I've said this before on the show, and I'll say it again and again, and probably say it again in the future. A technology problem, if it's fixed when it occurs, it is solvable and easily solvable, right? And you know, I'll underline that point a little bit, and unfortunately I have to use one of my own clients as an example, and I have to have this discussion with them, but dealing with an email issue in a Gmail account with one of my clients, and you know, unfortunately they ran out of space on their account, and you know, in Gmail, you using the web interface, you have a space issue, right? It's going to tell you. It's going to tell you right up there on the top that you're running out of space, right? Well, somehow Gmail allowed them to overexceed their account by 222%. Okay, so in terms of space, it amounts to a lot of emails that are causing this issue, and we've tried everything to clean up this problem. And because this problem has gone on for so long and never brought to anyone's attention, now it's a huge problem, and they're having problems with their email. And further compounded with this is that we're not the supplier of this service, so we have to go through another party to help solve the problem. And you know, that is also difficult, right? So anyway, we'll continue to work and support with them. Hopefully we can get a solution soon. But it underlines the same thing that we always say to clients, is that you have to you know, if there's something, if you have an error message, or if you have a warning or anything like that, right, you let us know, right? We are working with you all the time, right? Part of the service that ITIve.org offers is that something happens on your computer, you know, take a screenshot of it, call us, let us know, right? And then we work on it right away. We fix it, we get rid of it, right? If it's you know, needs attention right away, of course, right? So this is really, really important to understand, right? And then the other thing that I'll just mention here, you know, obviously ITIve.org doesn't necessarily offer all the services a business would need, but what we do is we represent the clients. So if you need web hosting or email services or any of those other things, right? Well, we'll set that relationship up for you, right? We'll manage it. We'll make sure that you get that service from an organization that's going to be responsive, right? You know, email support. There's nothing more frustrating, and this is part of my email problem, is that, you know, if you reach out to a company, right, and you say, hey, this is an urgent problem, right, and you get a message back saying, oh yeah, we'll get back to you in, you know, 1 or 2 business days. And then they do get back to you in 1 or 2 business days. That's just not good enough, you know. Or if you call them and you know, nobody answers the phone, and you say, well, we'll get back to you in 1 or 2 days. Like, my goodness, you know, I don't care about SLAs or anything like that. You know, if you got a problem and you're saying it's an urgent and I need this solved, it should get solved, right? You know, it just, yeah, I don't know. It's not good, right? So anyway, I think we'll look at that, right? And that's why, you know, I have my preferences with other IT companies, right, and suppliers of other services. And one of the things I look for, especially if it's a bigger entity, is you got a problem, pick up the phone, and you're talking to somebody, right, to get it fixed. right? And whether that's my client or whether that's us, right? That has to exist because, you know, and I said this before, right? You need to pay for services in the technology world. If you're paying low dollar amounts, then your expectations should also be low, right? But if you're running a business, you want things to work, right? And you want things to, so you really have to understand, okay, what service are you getting into? How's that going to work for me? And what does it mean if it's not there? What does it mean if it's not working, right? So if you're going to low dollar that type of service for your business, right, well, you're putting yourself at risk. And, you know, I've seen heartache in this area, and it's just not worth it. Okay, so anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. You know, just really important. If you're running a business, right, you got to be serious about your tech stuff, because that could really hurt you. And that is one of the reasons why ithive.org does not do one-off calls. If you want to engage with us to get service from us, then it's a relationship, you know, and we won't hold you captive, right? You can leave at any time, but and that's because we'll earn your business, right? We won't hold you to a contract or anything like that. We want you to do business with us because you value what we're doing, and we will work hard to do that. All right, so that's it for today. And you know, to all the business owners out there, be understand what's important, okay? And keep slugging. I know what it's like to run a business, and you know, it's not always easy. Right? There's lots of things you got to worry about and think about. Well, if you don't want to worry about your tech, right? Well, come to us. Let us worry about that for you. Okay. Talk to you all later, and we'll see you next week. Bye. From Russell, Ontario.